Morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today on a Friday, especially. I'm Ryan Becker, VP of Communications for Visit California, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to Outlook Forum Plus. This is a conference extension that we launched just this week on the heels of our first virtual Outlook Forum. Who doesn't need more Outlook Forum in their lives? So we're thrilled to have all of you join us, and I see people popping in very rapidly on the participant list. Today, you're going to hear about how to leverage Visit California's platform for your own marketing objectives as we prepare for the post-pandemic environment. And in the fall, our Calling All Californians in-state co-op campaign delivered 251 million impressions for partners. And that co-op continues to be a central feature of our upcoming spring campaign with several enhancements: a lower minimum buy-in, more flexibility in targeting, and streamlined media options, just to name a few. You'll retain control of your campaign call to action and KPIs while maximizing your marketing dollars. It's truly an incredible opportunity. But before we dive into today's discussion, I'd like to brief everyone on the potential to amplify our collective efforts even more. Right now, there's a bill pending in the state legislature that would fund an extended marketing campaign for California's tourism industry. It's SB 285, carried by Senator Mike McGuire and sponsored by the California Travel Association. If the bill becomes law, Visit California will be able to extend its co-op into the fall and beyond. And the match would be even more significant, a 2.5 times multiplier of all dollars invested by partners. It would include a 50% media match from Visit California, a 25% discount negotiated from our media partners, 25% bonus impressions, and production costs will be included for those who choose. So for example, a $10,000 investment would deliver a program worth more than $25,000. It's truly a fantastic opportunity to stretch marketing budgets in these revenue challenged times. But like anything in government, it's far from a done deal. So I'll wrap with one little call to action. If you'd like to help make that future program a reality, watch for a follow-up email from the California Travel Association on how to make your voice heard with your state representatives. Thank you all again for making the time to join our discussion this morning. And with that, it's my pleasure to turn it over to Leona Reed, Visit California's Associate VP of Global Marketing.
Thank you, Ryan. Hopefully everyone can hear me well. Good morning, everyone. So Ryan set up our objectives for this webinar. I was going to go a little bit deeper into today's agenda. And as he already said, we're going to talk to you how you can maximize your investment and increase your impact. So what we'll do, we'll quickly set up the collaboration framework. Today we'll focus on 2 of the 3 areas for collaboration, and that is how you can leverage our own channels, the California Now, and then how you can also leverage our media buying power. So we'll go a little bit deeper into the leverage media section of the co-op. We have a 3rd area that probably actually deserves its own a webinar. So we'll touch on it, we'll introduce it, and then we can go deeper into it at another time. We'll be able to also let you know what Visit California is up for or up to this spring. So you truly have a holistic view of what we will be doing this spring and how you can be part of it. But what today is really about, it's to connect with all of you and make sure that we answer all of your questions and try to have a little bit of a dialogue through the webinar technology. So quickly today on who is with us, we assembled a great lineup of experts. First off, we have a Stephen Murray, who is the Executive Director of Client Services at Meredith Corporation. So he'll be the one going a little bit deeper into our own channels. Meredith Corporation is the agency that powers our suite of own channels, where we have about 33 million in terms of the consumer audience. And then we have 3 partners from Mergen Advertising, our creative and media agency. First off, John Mergen, our Executive Media Director, who will set up our strategy for spring. And we'll talk to you a little bit more about learnings that we've made in the fall when we rolled out this collaboration framework vis-a-vis the leverage media. Beth Shaini is really the mastermind behind the leverage media platform negotiations. So she'll go deeper into what we truly have on offer for the spring. And then lastly, Courtney Costamagna is our brand lead at the agency, group account director, and she'll talk a little bit about our creative. And then at the end, we'll close with live Q&A. So I'll start quickly setting up with setup of the framework, as I mentioned. Hopefully, you know, all of you that are on a webinar have experienced a collaboration with Visit California in the past. And hopefully, when I say that, you know, we really take collaboration with the industry very seriously, you will agree with that. We've always done that. But there were two key milestones in the history of Visit California. It was 9/11, and it's now when we're coming together even stronger. And we truly have a platform for collaboration for the industry that's underpinning everything we do at Visit California. So again, the three areas: own channels, California Now, leverage media that truly maximizes or kind of uses our media buying power for greater good of the industry, and then research, user-generated and content platforms and trade platforms, all under the umbrella of tech platforms. And again, with the one main goal, and that is to save you resources, save us resources, do things better together, and hope that we will be able to, by that approach, shorten the recovery. With that, we'll go into the meat of the webinar, and we'll start with our own channels, and I'll hand it over to Stephen. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Leona. And thanks everyone for being here this morning. So I'll just dive right in with an overview of the California Now Network. Many of you on the call may be familiar with it, but just to provide kind of a broad context, the California Network consists of the Visitor's Guide, Road Trips Guide, the visitcalifornia.com website, its companion, the California Now news blog, and the California Now podcast, e-newsletters, and social media. So behind this network is a small army of editors, writers, researchers, photographers, social media experts, data analysts, and they're all in the service of creating the right content at the right time, targeting the right audience, with the ultimate goal of building interest and ultimately bookings to California. Consumer sentiment and understanding the consumer is behind everything we do. So we always start with data combined with our editorial expertise. And obviously, as everyone knows, consumer sentiment has been changing and evolving tremendously over the last year. This means we've been busier than ever. We've created more than 150 pieces of digital content over the last year across the visitcalifornia.com and the California Now blog. That's generated nearly 5 million page views, 500,000 partner handoffs to partners like yourselves, and nearly a 5-minute average time on page. So we are seeing that consumers are interested, and I will say that there's even more interest as things are opening up in California. We're already seeing a considerable uptick in our orders of the Visitor's Guide, as well as traffic to the website. So it's a trend we expect to continue. So that's just a broad overview. Now I'm going to go into the two items that are kind of the focus of our spring co-op package. So Ashley, if you could go to the next page. First is the California Road Trips Guide. Our Meredith does a research study on predictive travel trends, and perhaps unsurprisingly, the road trips are going to be hugely popular, more than ever, with 90% of our audience saying they plan to take one or more road trips in the next 9 to 12 months. Moreover, where our research has also shown that the booking windows will be extended well beyond the summer season, with 78% of our audience saying that they plan to travel not only in the summer, but this fall and winter, because there's a lot of pent-up demand, as well as people have saved money from not traveling. So the distribution strategy for this California road trips is aligning with that. So it will be a 1 million print run. 600,000 of those will be sent to subscribers of Parents and Better Homes and Gardens. Those two publications really hit the mom and millennial mom travelers. Those are the ones who plan all family travel, as well as the travel and leisure audience, which we know are the active travel intenders. So those will roll out in August and September. So and with the single copy request starting in June. So we expect again for kind of summer well into fall, hit travelers as they are planning these road trips. I have a special announcement today, which is that we were just able to secure a celebrity cover for the Road Trips Guide, which is Kevin Costner, which will include an interview with him. So we're incredibly excited about that, which will draw even more interest to this popular publication. If you go to the next slide. And the next slide, so Visit California is the other component of the spring co-op package. So as I mentioned, we create dozens of articles each week. We're now talking a lot about kind of openings and reopenings. A lot of interest, as I said, an uptick in traffic of more than 50% for in-state. I will mention that we are targeting active travel intenders in state. So really making sure that we have the right audience for your messages. We have an array of banner opportunities for you for this. And if you could go to the next slide. So the package itself for the spring co-op opportunity is a mix of both the road trip exposure in the road trip guide and exposure on the website. You can see the packages. Our goal was to create a variety of affordable tiers. Each of them, and I will say that the booking, the close for this is April 30th. You can schedule your media impressions on visitcalifornia.com anytime this year, and we would work with you to make sure that you are able to schedule something that in a time frame that works for you. You can see a little bit about the distribution strategy, as I mentioned, which is really geared towards hitting consumers as they're planning their road trip adventures. Moving to the next slide. And importantly, I will say that, sorry to mention, that there is a Visit California 20% contribution to those packages, and those rates reflect the 20% contribution. So I'll just leave you with the other range of California Now Network opportunities. As I said, we've just closed this year's Visitor's Guide, but we will start sales for that in April. And we were happy to get Tracy Ellis Ross on the cover this year. Many of you have already received that. If not, you can order those through your sales rep or visitcalifornia.com. Our e-newsletter program, social media program, and our California Now podcasts. And you can see those are all ongoing. And so you can talk to your local sales rep, which will follow up with information on that. So again, a lot of things happening with California Now Network, incredibly busy and excited to be able to be reporting on a lot of these opening and reopening opportunities and getting traffic and getting audiences to your partner, the partners like you. So with that, I will close this section and I will turn it over to John Mergen and the Mergen team to take you through the leverage media buy.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Stephen. We're going to now talk about the leverage pays media buy, as Stephen mentioned. This was something that was instituted last fall and is currently available for participants this spring. It was a program that was designed for the industry. It was meant to be customizable, allowing participants to create the program that best suited the needs that they had. And it also reaches the active travel intender, as Stephen mentioned earlier. That's that person who's currently in market or showing those data signals that they're looking for travel. And it also leverages the spend that Visit California has used against key partners like Expedia, TripAdvisor, Adara, and Sojourn, delivering significant added value and discounted rates. As I mentioned, it launched last fall. We had a total of 19 industry partners who participated, with the majority of them adopting Visit California's calling out California creative messaging. And it was successful. It really exceeded the expectations for performance. We had a 0.17 click-through rate, which was 31% over the benchmarks that we had planned for the fall. And then it offered a lot in terms of added value. It delivered about 1.1 million for the industry in added value. And it also translated into spending. We saw around, partners tracked around $13 million for spending from this program. So something we thought was really, really great and successful, but there were also a lot of learnings that we had from the fall.
And some of those were taken in consideration as we moved forward into the spring planning. So I'm just going to highlight a few of them. One, and no surprise here, every participant's program delivered different results. In some cases, if there was a traffic driving as a KPI goal, it delivered a strong performance, but it may not have really led to that revenue per dollar spent. But if you had a bookings as a KPI, it created stronger economic impact. One of the other things we learned was about the full funnel approach. So we found that as participants expanded their digital approach to include not only the contextual partners of Expedia or TripAdvisor, but balance that with some of those extended or programmatic partners like Adara and Sojourn, those are what delivered the strongest results. And then finally, from a creative perspective, the one thing that we learned was that every type of ad unit delivered something different for the program. So for example, if you were to run a video ad unit, it drove the awareness and the inspiration at the upper funnel, but it helped seed those mid to lower funnel tactics. Native units and display units were both very strong in delivering traffic, kind of those mid-funnel areas, with display units actually driving much stronger against those conversion metrics or those lower funnel metrics in the ROAS that was delivered from the partners. But ultimately, when the participants were talking and engaging with the media partners, you developed that program that's right for you and drove your KPIs. And that's what's great about the customization of the program from the fall that moved into the spring, is that it's not a get what you get approach to co-op. It is a program that's built to be customized to your needs from a geography perspective, from a asset perspective, et cetera. So just talking a little bit about what's planned for the spring and moving into the spring specifically, we have 3 different campaign levers and layers that we're going to be promoting this spring. We have the Calling All Californians campaign. This was produced last summer, and we deployed some of those assets in August and the fall, but there's more assets that are now ready to get in front of California residents. And as they are starting to make their travel plans for 2021, we want to make sure that we're talking to those residents of California and inspiring them to book those trips within state. We're also going to be leveraging our California Road Trip Republic campaign. We launched it last February, and then unfortunately with the shutdown of the state, we had to pause that campaign, but we're ready to bring that back into market, and it's going to be launching and running this spring. And then finally, we're going to be introducing a new campaign called What If California? This is an inspirational message, and it's really about bringing the celebration and joy and possibility of travel to consumers. And so it's an awesome campaign that we're excited to be able to launch this summer. And I know that some of that was shown at Outlook Forum. So just lastly, really quickly about the budget and what we have planned. We totally have about $23 million planned for the spring. And that's against all of those campaign layers that I just shared. But specifically for What If California, we have about $13 million in support of that program. And that's across several channels. From online television to linear TV and display, we're going to be using a combination of different media channels to not only reach general audiences, those potential travelers, but also the active travel intender that is so important to reach people who are currently engaged with travel research. And it's this creative messaging layer that's going to be the foundation for the spring leveraged media co-op. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand it over to Beth Shaini, and she's going to talk a little bit more and give you some of those details for the program that I know you're itching to hear about.
Thank you, John. As John mentioned, this program was really meant to bring benefit to the industry and to help support and enhance the efforts that individual partners may already have in market. Visit California recognized the need to provide additional support, and we wanted to make sure that we were able to leverage what we have in market to bring substantial value to our partners, to also deliver on that active travel intender audience that John had mentioned, and provide flexible solutions for individual destinations or partners to help make participation and management in the program easy. We really built on those fall learnings that we had to refine the program, and our strategic vision for this year was really to capitalize on the awareness that the Visit California program is bringing. So the goal is to inspire audiences with awareness messaging and get them to visit the Visit California website keeping California top of mind. We'll be measuring our base campaign against engagement KPIs, so impressions, click-through rate, sessions, and time on site. Where we see the individual destinations participating would be more in that mid to low funnel, really driving intent campaigns. So capitalizing on the awareness that the Visit California program has built and driving destination-specific bookings. And our recommendation there is to look at conversion KPIs to help you capitalize on active travel intenders that are interested in visiting California. With that, what we did was we leveraged our primary media buy, and we have about $2.5 million in the market against active travel intenders with 4 key partners. There is a co-op contribution if you opt into Visit California's What If Creative, and that is capped at $75,000 per destination. The campaign window we're looking at is now through June 30th, but there are some flexibilities that we can talk through as needed if you guys have questions about that. As I mentioned, we have an active travel intender audience. The Visit California program is set to target both in-state travelers as well as national travelers. So we have a wide variety of geo-targeting options available. There is some dynamic ability to capture geo-targeting by state, region, or DMA as needed for the individual partners. We do have some added value that is a little bit more nuanced, so not as wide-reaching as the paid programs. And in terms of the KPIs for Visit California's program, as I mentioned, they're more engagement-based. So you can see those noted here as awareness. So looking at our impressions delivery, as well as engagement, where we're looking at click-through rate and on-site engagement. Moving into program parameters a little bit deeper, we've set some guidelines for individual participants in the case that you guys need some guidance and help or have questions there. I won't go through this in detail, but it will be available for you if you're interested in participating in the program. Moving on to our program parameters and how we've crafted that solution, we do have flexibility in terms of the geography. So ultimately, we will put you in contact with the publishers that we're recommending working with for this program. You'll be able to identify the geo targets that you want to reach, whether it be at a state level or more narrow on a DMA basis, and you'll have the ability to craft that to fit your goals. Custom targeting will be available while the base of the program is set against active travel intenders. We do have opportunities built in for individual destinations to deploy custom targeting segments specific to your region as you see fit. Added value was noted earlier as being delivered across all of the partners. It ranges from 25% in discounted rates up to 100% in matching impressions and does vary by publisher, which is a great segue into the details with the program that we've put together. So we have 4 key partners that we're recommending for the co-op program: TripAdvisor, Expedia, Adara, and Sojourn. They were all part of the fall program and produced very strong results for the individual partners. Across all partners, you'll be working directly with the publishers, and we are happy to help answer any questions that you might have on this program. But there are some nuances between the partners. So in terms of TripAdvisor with added value, we're looking at a 25% discount on rates and a 25% match in bonus impressions. Minimum buy-in for this partner is $25,000, which is reduced from the fall, which was at $50,000. And overall, they're providing an estimated 1.8 to 1 return on your investment. We do have some added value limitations here in terms of the bonus impressions. They do need to be targeted to the state or greater in terms of geography, but that is the only limitation. So you can still customize those to your custom target segments. We just need to abide by that geographic target. In terms of Expedia, they've really come to the table this time around, and they've increased the match on spend on a one-to-one basis. So if you opt into a $10,000 spend, essentially you will get $10,000 in bonus impressions from Expedia. So that makes the match 2 to 1. This program is really only open to destinations. Bonus impressions will also need to be broadly targeted. And at this $10,000 level, they are not allowing video components. So it would be a standard display and or native program. Adara is similar to what they've offered up in the fall. So we have a 50% match on impressions. There is a minimum spend required at $10,000, and there are some nuances with that. We do have additional details with minimum spend requirements for each publisher that will be shared if you're interested in participating, so that you have that guidance as you go into your planning and negotiations with the publishers. Overall, Adara is bringing a 1.5 to 1 return on your investment. And there are some nuances in terms of the bonus that will be given by this publisher. So that 50% match applies specifically to display and native ad units. If you do opt into video opportunities, there will be only a 20% match there, but still great value on your investment. Sojourn is offering a 30% media discount. There are nuances with that discount by line item, depending on what type of ad units you decide to leverage. Spend requirement here is $10,000. And at the end of the day, their return is about 1.4 to 1. Sojourn has offered Facebook and Instagram opportunities if that is something you're interested in, and we can provide more information on that as well if there are questions. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Courtney Costamagna. Apparently I can't speak this morning, to walk through the creative.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully some of this material will not be completely new. If a lot of you attended the Outlook Forum, you heard Carolyn speak about the new shift in our brand platform. But since 2013, Visit California has been grounded in this idea of inspiration and positioning California as a place that everyone can dream big. So you're all familiar with our tagline of Dream Big. But what you're seeing on the screen is our current strategy, and it really is the convergence of two truths. On the right-hand side, you see the California brand truth. This is evergreen. California continues to be a place of abundance, offering a variety of experiences for a traveler. We are always seen as Californians to be progressive and forward-thinking. We pride ourselves on being open-minded and inclusionary in a place where anyone from any walk of life can come and dream big, and all done with a fun and free-spirited attitude. So that's something that is consistent with our brand truth, with or without the global pandemic that did hit last year. So as we continue to move out of quarantine and all of the experiences that are tied to COVID, we're seeing through our research that consumers are suffering from COVID fatigue. There's a pent-up demand for travel, and as vaccines continue to become more readily available, the sentiment for travel and comfortability is starting to open up. And that we're trying to tap into this idea of basically FOMO and this idea of fear of missing out, and that California provides an opportunity and a place to think of the things that you can do and really tap into that idea of what if I do, what if I travel, all the things that I've been dreaming, and now I'm able to do it, or now I'm comfortable to do it. And so the convergence of this consumer truth and this convergence of the brand truth is what we're really leaning into, which is this idea of the power of possibility, and trying to elevate that and kind of fit this post-COVID world. But above all, the California brand appeal continues to be consistent, and we're ever present in this idea of, if you can dream it, you can do it in California. So we're super excited to bring this idea to life in the campaign called What If California. It's grounded in a new brand television spot, a 30-second, which I think we're going to share with you now. And again, it leans into this idea of relentlessly asking, what if you do, but more importantly, what if you don't?
Here in California, we believe in what if. After all, if is our middle name. Like, what if we could go surfing and skiing in the same day? Boom! What if we could make it to the top of this? Or the bottom of this? What if I put this in my mouth? What if they hadn't saved this for us? Or this? Here we welcome all what ifs with open arms. Even whatever this is. After all, there's only one wrong way to what if. What if you don't?
We're really excited for this spot to launch. Again, we wanted to re-enter the market after this, after the global shutdown, with a really impactful spot, high energy, full of happiness and fun, showing that free spirit, but ultimately, leaning into this idea, the power of possibility. So what you see on screen here is in support of that brand television spot that's going to be aired on linear and online television is a foundation of digital assets. So you'll see leaning into this idea of unexpected dreams and things that you can make happen in California, and oftentimes only in California. So you'll see big, hero imagery, beautifully set, always showing people that are experiencing the product, and then a nice actionable headline that does make that type of idea of unexpected dreams come true. Whether you want to walk among the giants or play in the clouds or do lunch with a long-necked friend, you can do it in California. So nice big hero imagery. You've noticed that we've started to add pin drops down at the bottom, bringing the actionable planning down funnel, making sure people really know where you can experience what you see on screen to make those connection dots to the consumer even easier. So this is our brand campaign. Digital assets, obviously they come in a plethora of sizes and executions, but this is a good smattering of it. We're also going to be leaning into a lot of urban and family and culinary executions, because as John said earlier, there are several layers to the campaign. Road Trip Republic tends to lean more to outdoor experiences, and starting in gateways and moving beyond. This is to help round it out. And as you know, there was historically a family layer. Family has now been elevated in all three of the layers that we are currently showing. So some of the iterations you see on screen here. But moving that into application for participants in the Leveraged Media Co-op, we're offering creative services, obviously. So on the next slide, you'll see what we've taken in terms of the creative positioning and asking people what if, and putting the destinations and the attractions front and center. What if you could? What if you could in San Luis Obispo? All dreams welcome, even awestruck ones. So we're offering the opportunity not only for the leveraged media rates that are at your disposal, but also creative production. So we would create banners for you. Again, you would pick the hero imagery. We've got a plethora of headlines that would be most applicable to whatever product you want to feature. And we would put the first set together for you. And then depending on your investment level, there's additional creative added value that goes with it. So here's another example. What if you could in West Hollywood? And then nice big hero image. It's co-branded with your logo as well as Visit California's, and always a nice fun call to action. So on the next slide, I think we break down a little bit more of those creative benefits. So in addition to the rates that Beth was taking us through, Visit California is upping the investment, 30% match if you participate under the What If Creative platform. And then again, depending on your investment level, creative services are added. So if you're investing up to $25,000, you will get one standard IAB set under the What If Creative campaign paid for on behalf of Visit California. What does that mean? We create standard IAB banners. So if you're familiar, that means a 300 by 250, a 160 by 600, 300 by 600, 720 by 90, and 320 by 50. So a creative unit, you pick the headline, you pick the image, we do all the programming together and get it ready for traffic. And again, you'll see the increments there on the right. If you spend up to $50,000, you get 2 sets of that. If you spend $100,000 or more, you get 4 sets. So there's a lot of additional added value on top of the leveraged media rates to be able to take advantage of, to make these programs even more turnkey for industry. And we understand that post-COVID resources may be challenging, so we want to offer as much opportunity to participate as possible. So down at the bottom, you'll see if you've invested $60,000 and you're participating under the What If Creative campaign, there's a $18,000 media match, a total media budget of $78,000, plus it unlocks 2 creative IAB banners with a total program value of $83,000. So for your investment of $60,000, the total program value is almost increased by 40%. So we're happy to be able to bring that because we understand, we want to make it as easy and turnkey for you as possible and give you as many options, but take some of the burden of the participation off of you. All right. So again, this is the summary slide for us. The What If campaign, if you do participate, the differences, we've got the increased match from Visit California now up to 30%. We've lowered the buy-in investment, as Beth mentioned, especially with some of our key partners, increasing the overall leveraged media value that we've been able to negotiate from fall to spring, making these as turnkey as possible and adding in production added value. I think with that, I'm going to hand it back to Leona.
That sounds great, Courtney, and everyone, thank you so much. So we have covered how you can partner with us on our own channels, how you can leverage our media buying power through the Leverage Media Co-op. And I will just quickly round out that update and cover the tech platforms. But as I'm doing that, feel free to populate a Q&A function and with any of your questions that you might have. So the last category, it's kind of compilation of basically all of our partnerships. You see California Start there. That's our platform that's currently reaching over 20,000 agents. And yes, we have added all the key domestic agents to it. So you can do a lot of engagement, training, inspiration through that platform very effectively. CrowdRiff, many of you are working with CrowdRiff on user-generated content. We have purchased a functionality that populates Google M Stories with your content, and that's no cost to the industry. That just requires some of your resources, so we're really excited about that. We have a couple of research contracts with Uber Media and VisaView, providing travel and audience insights at lower cost. We have a lot of partnerships on trade side, working with AAA currently. Also, hopefully we'll be rolling out partnership with American Airlines and many more. So please do ask us about these. And if any of you have a need and or idea where else we can come in and simply make your life easier, please let us know. We're very much open to that. So that concludes sort of the presentation part of the webinar. And I would love to bring back the colleagues and a panel for live Q&A. And we definitely have some questions rolling in, which is very exciting. Thank you guys for providing a very thorough overview of the opportunities. Hopefully this is very helpful to our audience. And so we'll roll straight into Q&A. So I'm going to start with you, Stephen. The first question is for you. Came through the chat. For the California Road Trips Guide, can you tell me more about the reach? Will the guide be bundled with other Meredith publications?
Yes, so the guide is published with 3 Meredith publications, Parents, Travel and Leisure, and Better Homes and Gardens. And we'll send follow-up information about the exact breakdown. So just to reiterate, the goal of choosing those particular publications was really to reach the millennial mom and Gen X mom, who we know are the kind of the family travel kind of planners. And so we wanted to reach them. Again, it's in the August and September issues. So that's really, we figure we wanted to give a little bit more time so that people are, as they're planning their kind of late summer and, fall travel, this publication will hit them. We'll also say that this is always available starting in June for single copy distribution. So we get numerous requests. We will promote that through advertising on the website, et cetera, to make sure that we get a lot of people. It is also distributed at California Welcome Centers and across our kind of DMO visitor centers as well. So it has a wide reach of kind of travel intenders on a number of levels.
That's excellent. And that's really the truth for all of our own channels. We've added significant amount of in-state audience to really all of them. Perfect. Thank you, Stephen. Next question. These programs look great. Well, thank you. Is it possible for my organization to participate but leverage our brand campaigns? It's a really good question. Courtney?
Yeah, absolutely. The program is definitely designed to be as flexible as you need it to be. So the leverage media rates that Beth mentioned are absolutely available to anyone, regardless of the creative platform that you're taking. But the media match, so the additional added value, the 30% match from Visit California, as well as the production resources, are unlocked when you do fall under the What If California campaign and the kind of creative template I took you through. So either way, you're definitely getting amazing media rates. The additional value comes when you're under the Visit California umbrella.
Thank you, Courtney. Next one is also a great question and great idea as well. Is it possible for my organization to include regional partners in a leverage media program? In other words, can I co-op the co-op? Beth?
Yeah, absolutely. You can craft this program however you see fit. So if you're a county and you have multiple entities underneath you, you can definitely create a program that allows them to participate as well. And how you do that can happen in a number of ways. We're happy to discuss that if you guys have questions more specific to your area. But it could be something as simple as each of the individual cities or towns participates at $5,000, and you have creative that is more general speaking that pushes them to a landing page with one of the partners that highlights each of the different cities or towns. It can also be done with hotel properties or individual properties if you want to go that route.
Great, perfect. Next one, we really appreciate the inspirational and national presence the Visit California What If campaign will drive. Do you have marketing solutions and or creative options that can drive lower funnel travel intent? It's also a really good question. Courtney?
Yeah, I can take that one. So yes, again, like I said, the creative campaign itself is definitely flexible enough. And I think that we've been hearing a lot of that feedback from the industry as we were talking to the fall participants and being able to not only live at the inspiration layer, which was what the fall was intended to do and what the Visit California layer of the campaign will continue to sit at, but pushing transactions down funnel to be more conversion oriented are absolutely part of the plan, both on the media negotiation side and working with your particular media vendors to make sure that you craft your KPIs according to where in the funnel you want to lay. And then from a creative perspective, absolutely, we're already looking into how to expand upon the creative platform that we've already created to have a much more overt sales or conversion call to action message worked in. So when you're talking about executions and digital banners, there is room for ability to move beyond just inspirational messaging. So absolutely.
Perfect. Next question, Beth. We talked about our campaign running through the end of fiscal year, which is end of June, and for the Leverage Media Co-op, the deadline to sign up would be May 1st. So this is a really good question. Do you think the Leverage Media Co-op program will encounter any inventory issues?
You know, there is a potential with inventory issues depending upon the publisher that you're looking to work with and the geo-targeting parameters that you've set around your campaign. So for example, if you're working with Expedia and you only want to target the Los Angeles DMA, depending upon your spend level and how many other advertisers are looking to target that market, there may be some concerns with inventory, and you might need to explore opening up your geo-target, potentially even the target audience. So there is, in short, a potential risk of running into inventory issues, but there are definitely solutions that we can help guide you through to help resolve that.
Perfect, thank you. I know, John, that you shared some of the learnings from the fall, and that's when we really rolled out the collaboration framework. But are there any additional learnings from the fall Leverage Media Co-op that you can share? Was there a digital platform that performed the best?
Yeah, I think it depends on the objectives of the campaigns, but I do think that there were some platforms that performed well, like Expedia did a really good job of creating some of that revenue dollar per dollar spent. We did in the fall have Pandora, which was something we didn't mention, but I think that helped from an inspiration perspective. Some of the video ad units that we ran were definitely successful on a lot of all the platforms from an awareness perspective. So really market by market and partner by partner and the channel by channel, it really depended on what those KPIs were. But I would say if you were to look across all of them, you know, Expedia certainly created some successes for a lot of the different destination partners that participated.
Thank you. Next one, I'm seeing about 3 more questions, so feel free to send us more if you have any through the Q&A function. For the leverage media co-op, is it possible to extend the campaign window into the summer? It's a really good one.
Yeah, I'll take that one. There are opportunities to extend into the summer. It will be on a case-by-case basis and a publisher-by-publisher basis. Some of them do have rates that expire essentially June 30th, but if you're finding a need to go into summer or desire to go into summer, that can be worked out on a one-on-one basis with each publisher.
That's great. In a similar vein, Wendy Hassey sent us a quick chat as well. I think many of you will be in a similar position. No budget for advertising this spring, but definitely hoping to have more for 21-22. Most of you are in the middle of planning and probably have deadlines for your plans around April timeframe. So questions really to all of us: how are we going to extend this collaboration framework into next fiscal year? I'll quickly address it. We would like to continue it. We will hopefully have a flat budget holistically as an organization into 21-22, and the collaboration framework will continue. Hopefully we can extend the kind of rates from media publishers, the kind of added value impressions that we have shared with you, as well as the media matches across our own channels, as well as our leverage media. So please do contact us and we'll keep you in a loop on how the summer, fall, and then into the next spring, how that's looking. How do I sign up? That's a great question that we were going to address. We have a lot of content, and this session will live on outlookforum.com. We also have an entire section on our B2B website at industry.visitcalifornia.com. You now see the group plus Ashley Abney, who is the behind the scenes wizard today, who's running our PowerPoint. She's our brand manager at Visit California. So email us. There's one email, collaboration@visitcalifornia.com, that we all are watching. Let us know what you need. We've done a lot of one-on-one sessions. We're really enjoying those. We're on like 35th one in the last 3 weeks. So yeah, let us know what you need, and we're happy to set you up for success the next fiscal year as well. Any more questions? I think we answered them. Just making sure we've answered all of them. I think those are the questions that came in. So unless there will be more, we probably will thank everyone. I know we have a closing slide, and that's the how to participate, how to connect with us, which I have mentioned. All the content on, we're kind of continuing to leverage the platform we have built around Outlook Forum at outlookforum.com. And our industry website is full of insights, a lot of our research dashboards being updated on regular basis. And as I said, we have an entire section that really spells out every single opportunity we have gone through this morning. Perhaps one more chat. Thank you. We thank all of you for your support and for your attention. And if there's more interest in collaboration, we're happy to do another webinar, go a little bit deeper into the tech platforms. And hopefully soon we'll be rolling out a toolkit for our What If campaign to make sure that we're all moving in the same direction and leveraging each other for greater impact. With that, I think I'm going to thank our panelists, our team here. Thank you all, and industry for your support. And we hope you have a great Friday.